Hi, I'm Jared Garrett, author, also known as Jerry Ironspear, author. And I am creating this, manifesto on AI in art. Most specifically on AI in the art form that I have chosen to dedicate my life to, which is storytelling. Okay? That storytelling would be through mostly novels for me and short stories, but it could also include poetry and stuff like that. And graphic novels, of course, storytelling. So, the line for me is this: there will never, ever be a time that I use AI at any stage of my writing process. I won't use it to brainstorm. I won't use it to organize my thoughts. I won't use it to make an outline, to do chapter headings, to do character studies. I will not use it to do anything of the sort. I will not use AI to find templates for certain genres of story or audiences of story. It will never happen. I could very well use AI to try to understand what audiences of certain ages or demographics of some kind who like the kinds of stories I want to write are reading. So I can read those myself and thus absorb that myself and then produce something original that's not a derivative work, but of course informed by and inspired by other work. What humans do, the way we process things and then produce things and create things, comes from a creative core that some might call our soul. I am in fact one of the people who calls that our soul. AI doesn't have that. All AI has is programming, and that programming comes from people who are intending to program it. Now, some people might say, I am also a product of my programming, but please understand that there's no way I'm going to argue with you that there's no difference between a computer program and a human, because of course there is. Psychologists will tell you there is. Any person who has an honest brain and has done much thinking will tell you that of course there is. Of course there is programming in many ways that comes into us as humans. I'm not going to get into this too much, but of course there is. From our parents, from our environment, there's also internal things, that little toggles that we can have thrown up or down depending on our environmental influence factors. We're not just, tabula rasa or anything like that. There's nurture and nature, all of it. There's not just one school of thought that says this is exactly who we are. The point for me is this. Once again, no AI, ever. I won't even use AI for my covers. Nope. I hire artists to do my covers. If I find out that an artist that I hired used AI at any stage of the artistic creation for my cover, I am going to fire that artist and not use their work, because that's not their work. That's the work of an AI, a soulless thing that has place and use in places outside of art. I will never use AI in my art. Now, one of the things that many people who argue for the use of AI say is that it can do some of the drudgery for us. It can do some of the grinding for us. And they are right. It totally can. It can, write scenes for us if we give it some factors and stuff that it should work with, or parameters. It can even do character things for us if we give it certain parameters. But it's not giving us something creative. It's giving us an amalgamation of the stuff that it's crawled and sniffed out, that it's been programmed to go look for. Art comes from humans. Art cannot come from AI. Now, there will be people who consume the kind of art that I make, storytelling, who will be perfectly fine and happy with consuming that kind of story from an AI. Say somebody just really likes coming of age YA fantasy with swords and magic and let's just say animal familiars. Plug those parameters with maybe a few more into an AI, generative AI, whatever. I think that's a misnomer, but whatever. And they're going to get what they want, and they might even like it and be satisfied by it. But I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to do it. I admit that I may even think less of people who do use it. I'll try to be less judging. I really will. I honestly will try not to judge people who use it, or people who say that that's good enough for them to consume. As an artist, no. Why? Why am I taking such a hard stance? I love my creation. I love what creativity does for me. I love what the toil of thinking and rethinking and writing and rewriting and going back to change, and that wonderful iterative metamorphosizing process is. I love it. I love what it does for me on my soul, and it's on a spiritual level, on a physical level. I love the way it makes me feel to create art. I do also hate it sometimes, as all artists do, but I love it. That's why I do it, because it's so important to me. I would never take that from myself, and I would never encourage you or anybody else to ever take that experience of the toil, of the work, of the iteration, of the trying and the effort from somebody, because art, I'm not going to say it's always better when we've tried really hard, but it tends to be, I think, better. I think, especially since art can be so iterative, and it's an expression of not only our heart and our soul, but our interests, our loves, the way we see the world. We get to express that. AI, all it can do is express how it's told to see the world. And you can argue all you want that, that's all you're doing too, Jared, but you're wrong, man, because there's more than this tabernacle of clay. I will never use AI. And if I find out that somebody's using AI to help me create a cover or something like that, I'm going to fire them. That's just how it is for me. And I will not, and again, I will never do it, because I believe that it steals the soul of art. I believe that there is incredibly fertile soil from which springs art, that we create that soil, that we till that soil, that we fertilize that soil with our personal experiences, with the hard work we do, with the sacrifices we make for our art, with also just the hard work we put into our art, sitting down and grinding away at a keyboard as much as we can to get our stories told, in my case. Or, the guy who did Winged Victory, I forget who did it. And the guy who did the Three Graces, I think it's I love that guy, and I forgot his name right now because I'm kind of in a mode. The Three Graces. Oh, it's such a beautiful sculpture at the Victoria and Albert Museum. You should go, just Google it right now. Pause this video and Google Three Graces sculpture, Victoria and Albert Museum. That's so good. And Michelangelo's beautiful work. And so Canova, it's Alberto Canova. Got you. Anyway, there's that guy who did these beautiful sculptures that, like, there's lace on the outside of their face, but you can see their face. It's incredible. There's this extraordinary Chinese woman who's doing beautiful, lifelike, expressive pieces of work that blow my mind with how just awesome they are. I love it. And the experience of art that I want to create for others, I want them to feel my soul in it. Even if it's not just an expression of exactly me, I want them to feel my soul in it. So all that is to support the statement that I said at the beginning: no AI. Ever. I encourage you to take a hard stand against AI. Leave AI where it belongs. Analyzing your ads online, or analyzing logistics for shipping, or unloading things, or running a fast food restaurant that only has 1 or 2 employees and only robots otherwise, and conveyor belts and stuff. That's what it's good for. Not for trying to replace artists. Okay? And I know that there's a whole industry just of cranking out story after story after story, that fits a certain bill, and it pushes all the buttons, and it flips all the toggles and all the levers. And I know that's out there, and there are people making millions of dollars off that. More power to them. They can go do their AI. You're never going to get AI from me. What you get from me is me, my soul, my work, my everything that I put into it for you. That's my pledge, and that is my challenge for all artists, not just storytellers. All artists, don't let AI into your industry. Fight it with all you've got, and keep making your art, because you are making you better and the people around you better. And your art is needed. We need your art out in the world, not that amalgamation crap that we get from AI. And I know it's getting better, and it's getting harder and harder to distinguish it. And I don't care if I get to the point where I can't distinguish AI from human art. You're always getting human art from me, because that's what I believe in, and there it is. This is my manifesto on never using AI in my art. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed my ranting, and I hope you'll take up this fight with me as well. Thanks for tuning in.